try to finish up their presentation within time. And I understand so many topics of your मतलब आप सभी के कई लोगों के ऐसे topics हैं which have a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of content, and or because of also the fact that you people have prepared such PPTs and all these things, so you want to like explain a lot, but at the same time you have to understand that everywhere when we speak, be it a speech competition, be it a debate competition, we always have some time foundations. So just try not to negotiate against the time limits and just try to speak within the time frame, because speaking quality content is definitely an art, but speaking quality content within the time boundaries is in fact a more important is a more important thing. So all the best, all the participants who are going to give their presentations today. I would now ask the first team to start with their presentation. All the best.
Good morning, everyone. As you all know that this is going to be a group presentation. Our group comprises 5 members: Aradhya Pathak, Praful Pandey, Shalini Singh, Vaibhav Singh, and myself, Kashish Gupta. As you all can see on the screen that we have been assigned the topic white collar crime in India and the legal framework surrounding it. So I'm here to introduce the topic and would like to start with the words of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. The practitioners of evils, the hoarders, the profiteers, the black marketeers, and the speculators are the worst enemy of our society. They have to be dealt with sternly. However well placed, important, or influential they may be, if we acquiesce in wrongdoing, people will lose faith in us. The most significant recent development in criminology has been the emergence of the concept white collar crime as an area of scientific inquiry and theoretical speculations. White collar crime are those which are financially motivated, non-violent, committed by big businessmen, government professionals, and people of high status, and are distinct from the traditional crimes in the sense that there is a principal element of breach of trust. The most influential criminologist and sociologist, Edwin Hardin Sutherland, has defined white collar crimes as crimes committed by people who enjoy high social status, great repute, and respectability in the course of their occupation. Now, if we talk about the emergence, the concept of white collar crime is definitely not a new phenomenon. There have been numerous references of such crimes since the Vedic period in India's ancient and medieval literature. Manu, who is often accorded the title of being India's great lawgiver, held the view. It was the age when dharma prevailed in perfection, but later adharma progressed gradually, which naturally gave way to tendencies such as robbery, wrongdoing, and fraud. However, the first case of white collar crime is known as the Carriers case, which was documented in the year 1473 in England. Now, let me discuss some differences between the traditional crimes, that is blue collar crime, and the newly developed crimes, that is white collar crime. Basically, blue collar crime refer to those who work physically, whereas white collar crime refer to those who uses their knowledge to commit such crimes. The element mens rea and actus reus is must to constitute any crime. Where mens rea becomes an important element in blue collar crime, its presence does not even matter in white collar crime. There is no relation of white collar crime with the social conditions like poverty and personal conditions. But these conditions matter much in blue collar crime. Now, if we talk about the identity of the offender, it remains veiled in white collar crime, as there is no face-to-face contact while the crime is being committed. But there is nothing as such with the offenders of the blue collar crime. Coming to the last point, the harm caused by white collar crime is much more difficult to bear than those caused by blue collar crime. Now, I would like to end up my part and would welcome Praful Pandey to continue the topic further. Thank you.
As Kasich has elaborated the meaning and difference, I am going to tell you about the types and causes of white collar crime. There are two types of white collar crime. First is occupational crime and second is organizational crime. Occupational crime occurs when crimes are committed to promote personal interests. Some examples would be like money laundering, embezzlement, fraud. Money laundering. I think money laundering is giving oxygen to organized crime. It is defined as any act or attempt act to conceal or disguise the identity of illegal obtained proceeds with the aim of making those proceeds appear to have been generated legitimately. process by which criminals make dirty money appear clean. Next is embezzlement, the wrongful appropriation of money or property by a person to whom it has been lawfully entrusted. Embezzlement implicitly involves a breach of trust. It's not necessary to show fiduciary relationship among the parties. And the last, fraud. Deceits are practice of breach of confidence committed for profit or to gain some unfair, dishonest advantage. Fraud is the daughter of greed. Three main elements of fraud, which is called fraud triangle, consists of opportunity, pressure, and rationalization. Rationalization, which means justification of dishonest action. Coming to organizational crime, the crime either by a business entity, including the cooperation, or by the individuals acting by on behalf of a cooperation or other business entity. Some examples like bank fraud, tax evasion, blackmail, and forgery. Bank fraud, which means obtaining money or property held by bank or customer of the bank in order to make more money. Two major factors are responsible for increasing bank fraud. First is complexity of bank transaction, and second is failure in observation or procedures and norms let down in branch of operation. Next is tax evasion. Tax evasion is not paying the taxes when they actually do, which is absolutely illegal. Next is blackmail, a demand for money or other consideration under threat to bodily law, to ensure property, to accuse of a crime, or to expose secrets. And the last, forgery. Forgery is the new jaggery. It is not sweet. Forgery is a fraudulent of creating a copy of document, signature, a banknote, or work of authorship that is intended to be passed off as genuine when it is not. Let's come on the causes of white collar crime. Most of the people do not start out as criminals. Most of white collar crimes involve normal people who are struggling financially. It's just as common in bigger cooperation as stealing is in a power community. Some of the causes are greed, competition, necessity, get rich culture, poor law, its education. White collar crime also increasing due to the lack of awareness. The nature of white collar crime is different and most people are not aware of it and fail to understand that they are worst victim of crime. Lack of awareness always leads to disaster. Now I am handing over to Arad. Thank you everyone.
Greetings everyone. My friend Praful has very nicely explained the types and causes of white collar crime. Now I am going to throw some light on white collar crime in various professions. But before I begin, I want to tell you all that all professions are noble and most of the people are law abiding. Only some of them commit white collar crime. As you all know, movies are the mirror of society. So I will give examples from movies for conceptual clarity and making the presentation interesting. Coming to the medical field. If you all have watched movies like Gabbar is Back, Double Attack, you can understand how doctors, pharmaceutical companies and hospitals commit white collar crime. They issue false medical certificates and make false post-mortem reports. They don't give treatment until the bill is paid, as they value money more than life and they charge a very high fees. They get commission from suppliers of medicine and prescribe medicines on which they get commission. Many hospitals and doctors are involved in self-determination, illegal abortion and running kidney rackets. Many pharmaceutical companies make fake drugs for profit. They earn money by fooling people with fake and misleading ads claiming to completely cure a disease or brighten the skin color. During the second wave, many hospitals and doctors were hoarding the remdesivir and selling it in the black market. Many doctors make fake medical reports so that a criminal gets released from jail. They, instead of reporting the criminal, provide medical assistance to them. Coming to the legal profession, lawyers not only help white collar criminals, they also commit white collar crime. As in the movie Vedalam, we can see how lawyers fabricate the evidence and use fake eyewitness. They bribe police to manipulate the evidence and manage the opposition lawyers with money. They even affect the judgment of the court by bribing the court staff. Many lawyers file cases against rich and famous people for getting quick money and fame. Lawyers find loopholes in law and advise corporates in committing white collar crimes. Coming to the engineering field. In the movie Khatta Meetha, we can see how engineers and contractors make poor quality roads and bridges which not only cause economic loss but also leads to loss of life. They exploit mines with the help of contractors. In the recent case of Supertech buildings, we can see how officials and engineers help in constructing illegal structures. Software engineers are involved in theft of communication service, hacking and leaking confidential data. Government engineers settle bills in exchange of money. Coming to education sector, which is a very noble profession. Education determines the whole life of an individual, but still some institutions and teachers commit white collar crime by taking admission on the basis of donation and selling seats. They give admission on the basis of manipulated documents and provide fake certificates for money. They even leak question paper, they do favoritism and treat education as a business. Management gives less salary to teachers, so the teacher is forced to give private tuitions to the children. Underpayment of staff, providing fake degrees, appointing unqualified teachers are some of the white collar crimes in this profession. Journalism is called the fourth pillar of democracy. But nowadays it has become a source of entertainment and propaganda as the focus has shifted to TRP from the news. They take bribes for shutting their mouth and twist the facts to conceal the truth. They support a particular ideology or party, and journalism has lost its neutrality. For money, they take fake and staged interviews. Man, the list of professions and white collar crimes committed by them is so long that it cannot be summed in a short amount of time. But still, there are some professions that automatically come to our mind when we think about white collar crime. Professions like police, legislators, corporate, and government officers like IS, IPS are so much well known for their corruption that they don't need to be mentioned here. Ma'am, when I was researching about this topic, I was very sad to know that white collar crime is even present in professions that we consider undoubtful and holy. But sadly, in recent times, white collar crime has crept in professions like army, judiciary, and legislature. So, enough examples from the movies. Now, I want to call Vaibhav to throw some light on the legal aspect of white collar crime and give some real life examples. Over to you, Vaibhav.
The real sin with social security is that it's a long-term rip-off and a short-term scam. As Arad has explained white collar crime in various professions, now I am going to explain some financial scam in India. Vijay Mallya scam. Vijay Mallya, known as the Playboy of the East, in 17 Indian bank, he committed the fraud of 9,000 crore rupees. Septem scam. B. Ramalinga Raju was the suspect behind this scam. This scam is known as the biggest accounting fraud in India. The total amount of this fraud is 1,400 crore rupees. 2G Spectrum scam. Former Telecom Minister A. Raza was suspect behind this scam. In 2012, Spectrum was declared unconstitutional and arbitrary by the Supreme Court. The total estimated amount of this fraud is 17,600 crore rupees. Next is Nirav Modi scam. Nirav Modi is the fugitive Indian businessman. With the help of his uncle Mehul Choksi, he cheated Punjab National Bank by the help of fake letter of understanding. The amount is 1,400 crore rupees. Harshad Mehta and Ketan Parekh stock market scam 1992. Harshad Mehta, known as the big bull of stock market, was the mastermind behind this scam. This scam, known as the India's largest stock market scam. The amount is 4,000 crore rupees. In our post-independent India, we have numberless scams like Hawala scam, Fodder scam, Commonwealth scam, Waqf board scams, Yes Bank scam, and so on. We have so many laws to prevent such crimes. Let's see some of them. Indian Penal Code. There are some provisions to deal with Indian Penal Code. Section 403 deals with dishonest misappropriation of property. Section 405 deals with criminal breach of trust. Section 416 deals with cheating by personation. Section 420 deals with dishonest inducing delivery of property. Next, we have the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. With this act, Directorate of Enforcement have power to seize, arrest, attachment, confiscations, and investigation of property under money laundering. Minimum 3 years to maximum 10 years imprisonment are awarded in this law. Next is the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. Chapter 3 of this act describes offences and their penalties. Taking gifts is an offence for public officials. Minimum 6 months to maximum 5 years imprisonment are awarded in this law. Next is the Information Technology Act 2000. This act deals with cybercrime. Section 43 of this act deals with penalties and compensation to damage to a computer. Section 44 deals with failure to furnish information. Section 45 deals with residuary penalty. And Section 65 to Section 76 deals with offences like identity theft, violation of privacy, obscene materials, cyber terrorism, access under protected system, and so on. We have so many laws like Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, the Import and Export Control Act 1947, the Essential Commodities Act 1955, the Central Vigilance Commission Act 2003, the Special Court Trial of Offences relating to the Transactions in Securities Act 1992, and so on. But the problem is that law is like a spider's web in which small flies get caught, but big bats break the web and fly away. Let's see why white-collar criminals are rarely punished. Close relation with politicians. With the support of politics, such elite persons are able to do white-collar crime. Violation of extradition treaty. Some countries like UK violates their extradition treaty with other country to preserve their so-called strong human rights. Use of black money to bribe bureaucracy. Look, bureaucracy have a great role in white collar crime. Without the help of bureaucracy, one cannot do white collar crime. Low representation in media. Nowadays, our Indian body media rarely discuss an important issue such as white collar crime. This is one of the reasons to increase high status crime in our society. Swiss Bank. Swiss Bank is popularly known and widely used to park black money. काले धन पर पूरी संसद मौन साध कर बैठी है. काले धन पर पूरी संसद मौन साध कर बैठी है. शुक्र मनाओ जनता अब तक हाथ बांध कर बैठी है. Now I would like to call Salini Singh to proceed further.
As you all have noticed, my group member has explained this presentation very nicely. Now, I am here to continue it further. There is no one entity who can alone get rid of this enemy. Law alone cannot do anything if they are not enforced properly. Similarly, institutions and organizations cannot do anything if they do not get the support of public. Now, the time has come to show the concern toward this devastating problem, as it causes much more harm than any other form of crimes and hampers the image of India by violating laws and trust of individuals and creating the distrust within the society. Here, some measures are given to curb the white collar crime. Organizational action. Employees screening be made more strict in order to conclude the integrity. Check the respective employee's previous background on the basis of ethics and any illegal practices followed in the previous record. Introduction of multi-level verification system. By introducing this multi-level verification system or checks and balance system, that could be proven a very effective or preventive measure to curb such problems. Employees the assistance of a software monitoring the activities of employees. The assistance of a software that could be used for monitoring the activities of such issues or problems can be used as an early warning system in any organization or institution. 4. Transparency. As it is the key factor for any legal business practices, as it creates or provides the general awareness and enact the stringent laws in the system of governance. Now, the governmental actions, enacting laws and regulations. To uproot the existence of such crime, it is very important to involve stringent laws in the system of governance. Implementing strong regulatory policies, as laws and regulation is the foremost step for curbing such problems. By ensuring strict, effective and timely implementations of such laws could create the perceptible impact on the society. Proper training of investigating officers too. As we all know, the commission of crimes has changed and gets so advanced. So there is a need for proper training of investigating officers. Along with these two actions, individual action is also equally important to be followed for curbing such problems. Hence, one should be vigilant against one's action and should hold moral and ethical duties. And the person comes across such type of crime in the society, immediately approach to the court to file the complaint against such crimes. With you, all these steps or steps that could be taken for curbing this problem or to get rid of this evil, there is also a need to spread awareness about such crimes and related activities in the society. Hence, there is need to educate the general public about sound governance, common laws, governing corruption, and accessibilities to laws and regulation. At the end, I am winding up this presentation by saying few lines. The perfect criminal, should he or she exist, would be the one who is never apprehended indeed, the one whose crime may be huge but unnoticed, or indeed miscategorized not as a crime at all, because they are so powerful they sway the law in their favor, or so clever they discover an immoral opportunity for criminal enterprises before the legislature notices it. Such forms of criminality may be indistinguishable at a distance from lawful business, the criminal paragon of upper class virtue, a face meant for fops. I remain most grateful for paying rapt attention towards us and listening us. Thanking you everyone on the behalf of my all group members, our sincere gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you very much, this team. I mean, it has set another kind of standard when it comes to, confidence, especially. I would like appreciate them because they are also the first team in this long journey which we have had together since first semester. even though like switching on the cameras was not made a compulsory condition, even though in many classes you people will find that switching on camera is a compulsory condition for presentations, but I still did not make it a compulsory condition, and I was also not expecting students to come up with that kind of confidence. But yes, I would definitely appreciate this team for like showing us how we can still be confident within the comfort of our homes. And even though we do not know each other, like most of you do not know each other still, so I would really appreciate this team, and I would expect that more of you would take a lead from them, would take a lesson from them. And just because see, now you people would have understood when we switch on the cameras and give the presentations, I could see their gestures, like right from the starting, the first speaker Kashish to the last speaker Shalini. I was able to see their faces, their gestures. There were so many times when they were smiling while giving the presentations, which shows that they were really engrossed into the presentation. So what happens is, and even with this, they were able to run the PPT very smoothly. So this was a very nice thing. Well, content and specific remarks you will get in the classroom app, the newly created classroom app. But I just have one question to ask. Aradhi, maybe you can switch on your mic. This movie references which you gave, so like, did you come up with these movies yourself, or did you find this list somewhere online?
No, ma'am. I had many movies in mind, but Vaibhav did not want me to make it much funny, so I included only some of them from my
So
own
you like
common sense.
came it, अच्छा, तो ऐसा कोई वेबसाइट में नहीं दिया हुआ था कि 15 movies
No,
which took
ma'am.
white? Is then that
No,
is a
ma'am.
good
Ma'am,
genius
all these
mind.
movies I have watched. There are many movies that I have not watched, so I could not include. All these I have watched.
All right, wonderful, Aradhya. That really gave us all a perspective. Very proud of you. Wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chalo beta. Okay, beta. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am.
Thank you, Lucy. Next we have Team Vaishnavi. In team